All right. Good evening, good day, good afternoon, um, good whatever time of day it is where you are joining us from this beautiful day. Welcome to the 15th Sunday Summit and welcome to all who are on the call. I acknowledge all of you. I think just before we get started, and also to just acquaint everybody with the infrastructure, I'm going to ask that you go into the chat and send us a message on where you are joining us from, which country, which province. I will highly appreciate that. I am Larato joining from South Africa, Gauteng. So please head over to the chat. If you are joining from a mobile type device, at the bottom of your mobile device, there are three dots there. If you click on that, the option that you are looking for is in call messages. And if you are joining on a desktop type device, at the bottom right of your screen, there is a chat icon. You can click on that and put in your comment. And I think over and above that, we are going to be having some really interesting things happening this evening. So I'm just going to ask, in terms of housekeeping, if you are not speaking, please keep yourself on mute so that we can manage the background noise. And if you do want to come up and ask a question or anything like that, I would appreciate if you just indicate in the chat that you would like to ask a question or would like to say something, and I can acknowledge you and you can come off mute from that point. I think before we get started and get going with this evening's proceedings, just going into the chat. I acknowledge Nigeria being represented in this room. I see Ame, I see Martina, Ruben, Zimbabwe in the room, Craig, South Africa, Vanto Vanto, Perpetua, Chief Oketa from Nigeria, Canada, Toronto. Oh, I can't do the Toronto accent. I was gonna try, but anyway. uh, then we have Ian coming in from Washington, D.C. in the U.S., South Africa, Wiseman from the Western Cape, Nkosnati from South Africa in the Eastern Cape, Bandile from Mgungundlovu from Azania, and Seraphim from France, and Sfiso from KZN South Africa. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. Balesa joining from South Africa, the Northwest Province. Really exciting. Thank you so much. I think even before we get started, I am going to just ask that you would have seen with the invites for this meeting that we are going to be having some guests. So I think this is an opportunity for us to just start thinking about the questions that we want to ask, things that we've always wanted to know, things around the state of the African diaspora, SOAD, things around ECO6, things around the Lumi, if anything around Swifin that you've always wanted to know about, and all those burning questions. Tonight is your night. You have the platform to actually ask those questions. And I think it's prudent that even because we probably will run out of time if the questions are plenty. If you get your question in the chat right now, your question will be at the top of the list when we get to the questions and answer session. So if you have any questions around SOAT, around ECO6, around the Lumi, Swifin, anything of that relates to this, please feel free to put them in the chat even right now before we get started so that we can, I will be popping from the top when we get to the questions. Thomas Tau from Gaborone, Botswana, Mpomonari from Brit Receive, Bit Retif, South Africa, Obedike Linda from Nigeria, King Charles from Tanzania, Toko Mulefe from KwaZulu Natal, Agida from Nigeria, welcome everybody. Welcome. If you have not put in your comment in the chat, this is your opportunity to do so. Just let us know where you are joining us from this evening, and also any of your questions that you want to have posed and asked this evening. We'll highly appreciate that. I think without going through taking up a lot of time, I'm just going to pass to Moa, and Moa to take us through some remarks. Just before that, I acknowledge your message, Philip from Zimbabwe. So, countries being represented this evening. Moa, over to you.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day, everyone. I trust that I'm audible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We are having an important session today, and we are just about to receive our guests coming through. I know that we were told that there's a slight challenge in Jamaica, but we should have our guests online. But the comments I want to make is that you know that this voice has been away for some time now. I'm back, and what we think it's important to do before we welcome our guests is to indicate an important shift that is happening. And tonight is one of those nights that are almost the precursor to helping us to transition into the future that we are getting into. There's a whole lot of things happening around in the world, and one of those is that the central bank digital currencies are something that's very hot. Researchers are rushing into it to research what is the impact of this thing, what is the reliability. Others are still trapped with Bitcoin and so on and so forth. However, Lumi is the talk of the town because of the extent to which it's spreading. There's a map that has been shared in certain quarters that suggests that Lumi is really distributing at a pace that is just amazing across the world. Now, that is giving Africa and Africans a challenge, and that is a challenge for you and me to say, we need to regroup, we need to re-strategize, we need to, we need to make sure that we don't get sidetracked in the process, especially when the numbers are coming in. And that's precisely one of the reasons why we are transitioning. If Lerato allows me at this point, I'm not sure, do you allow me, Lerato, to do what I want to do now?
Go ahead.
You say in the...
Please go ahead.
Okay, good. I just want to demonstrate to us that we are moving away from this particular platform that we are using. And if, because I'm allowed, I'm going to just try and give you a 2 minutes orientation of what we believe is important for us to what is important for us to appreciate and not be stuck when we get to that point. Now, I'm going to be demonstrating this particular platform that is created by Africans. We did have a guest who basically designed this particular platform with us. I'm not sure if you can see my presentation. Can you see my screen?
Yes, your screen is up.
Good, thank you.
Yes, we
Now,
can.
we think that we want to just quickly help us understand how this particular program works. I know that I need to just quickly do the following. Now, when we call meetings, we will actually share with you a link, and this link is going to be basically meant to, I know that I'm slightly distracted. I'm going to quickly sort myself out. Yeah, now you will receive a link, and this link will come with a password. Those are the only two things that you're going to receive. Now, people who are sitting in this meeting, now I'm ready to share. Yeah, I'm ready to share. Now, people who are sitting in this meeting, you will receive a link, and this link basically you just put it in. You don't even have to download any app, and you will after clicking the link, then you will just put your name and your password. Is my screen visible? I seem to be not seeing it this side.
Yes, it's up.
Okay, good, good. Now I'm going to try and log out quickly and just take you to home. Now, at home, this is how this thing looks like, and I'm just gonna quickly show you. And this is just even a quick guide for you guys to each one of you have a free account. Now, if you want to have a free account, you simply go to GlueVP. Glue as in things that sticky thing that glues things together is GlueVP. VP is visual platform, and you simply you get in there and you see register for free. That's it. It's gonna happen in exactly 2 minutes. I'm just gonna quickly open an account, and I'm gonna say let's say what Sunday Summit. Let's say Sunday Summit, and I'm just using that as a because I want to just demonstrate to you quickly how this works, and I'm gonna keep that password. I'm gonna make it different. Um, Now, this is what each one of us can do right away after you have finished. I mean, after I have finished here, just so that you can immediately have your own account. Now, I put that code. All I did was to put my name, my second name, and then I put the email address and the password. And I then put that code in so that after this, I register. In literally less than a minute, this the user is already okay. The user is already there. I'm gonna do a different one. I'm gonna do a different one. ZQF DPM. Yeah. In literally less than a minute, you have this account. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly do that. Sorry for that. That is 6. That is it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in literally less than a minute, you've got this account open. There it is. Now, I actually have. I'm gonna save that, and now I'm just gonna. Now, when you get when I for example want to set up a meeting, I'm gonna go to meetings, and literally I don't have meetings, but I can go back to dashboard and create my first meeting. Now, and I'm showing you this pin so that you can know what happens. Now, the meeting, it's about Sunday Summit, and Sunday Summit, and the attendee password, it's me. I mean, it's you attending the meeting. I'm just gonna put 1, 2, 3, and I am hosting this meeting. My password is different from the one that I gave you. So I'm just gonna make this meeting to start now, and now it's 7:21. I'm gonna make it start now because I just want to demonstrate how this thing works. And of course, I then have 50 minutes, which is a free account, and I will say obviously welcome, etc., etc. Whatever you want to appear, and I create a meeting. In literally less than a minute, the meeting is created. Now, when I call you into a meeting, I'll copy that and send you that particular link through WhatsApp, which is integrated. Now I'm gonna start this meeting. Now, when I start this meeting, rather when you get this link, it's gonna give you this particular electronic form. You put your name in there and you put your password, which is 123, and then the ID is actually there automatically. Then you join the meeting. That's how easy and hassle-free this platform is. Now, this is where we are going to be transitioning into. We're going to be transitioning into this beautiful African created um, platform. Lerato, I think I've exhausted my time. Can I hand back to you? Am I good? Do you want to give me a hint? Should I stop now?
Yeah, if you are done, that's
Good,
okay.
thank you. I'm done, and I'm gonna stop sharing. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to demonstrate. Therefore, I don't have to do it later on. Yeah, I'm handing back to you, Lerato. Thank you.
Okay, let me see if I can take back the screen. Just give me a second. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see my screen again.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. Okay, I just want to acknowledge some of the comments that have come in thus far. Um, we have Philip from Zimbabwe, Eunice from South Africa, Roseanne from Cameroon, Okinyi from Nigeria, and Toko, I acknowledge your question, comment, and I think that will be the first question we start with when we get to the question. Okbole from Nigeria, and okay. Charles, I see your question around where will this link be sent to, which WhatsApp? Uh, so the meetings invites for these sessions go into the Lumi for Africans um, group. There is the Paradise Restored. There's a multiple of groups where the links actually get posted to. So if you are not in any of the WhatsApp groups, please be sure to uh, let us know. We'll put in a link to the WhatsApp group shortly, and you can join the WhatsApp group. And Ian, I see you asking about the functionalities of the platform, and which is quite an interesting question. I'm just going to ask Moa to speak to that question quickly. Moa, what are the other functionalities of GlueVP? Is it similar to Zoom, Teams, or Skype? Do you want to speak to that quickly?
Okay, thank you. The question is the capabilities. Tonight, we don't want to focus on the platform, but it has got a lot of capabilities. If you think about the capabilities that Zoom has, it actually has the same, and in fact, even more. But we can make special time to, talk about this. I'm happy to even try and talk more about it, Mari, but at another time. If you allow me to please leave it at that. Is that okay, Lerato?
Happiness. Um, since you are on the floor more, I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to do remarks.
Yeah, colleagues, thank you very much. We seem to still have a very serious challenge with connectivity of the VPN. But what we are trying to see if we could build the technology, because both himself and the Minister of Social, Family and Social Economy are basically being blocked. We are not sure why. Now we're going to see if we could try and do some tricks, and I hope it works. I'm not sure, but we're gonna try and superimpose. And I'm not sure if this is possible, Lerato. I've just convened a meeting on GlueVP now, and send them the link to join a meeting that I have. I'm gonna start on GlueVP, and after I've started that meeting, hopefully they can join there and be and transmit from through me sharing my screen to you. Does that even make sense, Lerato? Do you think it might work?
It will work perfectly.
It will work perfectly. Okay, I just sent them the link. I thought I shouldn't confuse or rather make remarks while there's a bit of this and that we are dealing with. Let us see if both Dr. Chong and the VPM will join us. As soon as they do, we will actually see if we can make them talk to both of us, to all of us. And if that's agreeable, Lerato, can I ask that we perhaps identify if that's okay with the audience? In the meantime, Lerato, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Are you okay with that arrangement?
Yes, I'm happy with that arrangement. Just note that it might be a challenge sharing the audio from the call onto GlueVP. Depending on how you share your screen there, it might be a bit of a
So,
challenge.
so
But
this is let's test it now right away, Lerato. I want to hopefully have this meeting displayed. Can I share it now with you?
yes, please.
Okay, I'm gonna share it with you now so that we see if this works. Okay, and I'm just gonna be hopefully having. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so um, I'm gonna unmute and see if you guys can hear the sound that tells me I'm muted or not. You are now unmuted. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Good, good. Let's hope that this works.
Yeah. So
Okay.
as I was saying, we will be able to hear their sound through your mic. However, they will not be able to hear our sound through to their side. So that might be something that you need to manage with.
Okay. What I think I'll yeah. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Let's see. And then maybe you could in the middle rather read the comments to them, right?
Yeah, we'll see how we handle that.
Okay, sure. Okay, now thank you. Let me just, while hopefully that they come through, mention that the reality is that this is about, and I'll put it as it is, it's about war, and we need to go into safer spaces. And one of those safer spaces is GlueVP. And one of those safer spaces that we also have that has been created by our own colleagues, it's Lumicity platforms. And these are spaces of incubation. That's how we see them. They incubate a baby that is still inside the womb. Hopefully, little other babies have just come out and now are crawling and breastfeeding and so on and so forth. But all this needs to happen in a safe space, because if you give birth and you leave the baby in conditions that are not safe, they will actually face difficult circumstances, conditions that may end up, putting them at risk. of even losing their lives. Now, when we as Africans have started something like this, we need to be conscious of the extent to which we have almost disrupted or are disrupting what is basically a colonial system that has been set up more than 350 years ago. Because if you look at what happens, for an example, South Africa remains an extractive economy in the main. And this is not something that has happened yesterday or 94. It is a system that was set up um, more than 300 years ago, linking the gold standard to the gold and minerals that are extracted here. And the idea was, let's only export, let's not process here. Now, that's crazy. But this is the system that we are dealing with. Now, we need to, in these incubations, use these spaces to nurture, to enable, to accompany, to pilot and prototype, and ultimately give a gift to the world, something that has been piloted and that is a successful offering that can be used. Now, those are some of the reasons why we are transitioning. And this is also to enable Africans to sit in their own space. As we are saying we want to close the borders so that Africans can come inside an African world and actually sit and talk among themselves with different languages, different ethnicities, different cultures and customs and belief systems, different complexions, hair, eye, color, and all those things, and appreciate the diversity that should enable us, enrich us, and bring the beauty, moving away from a colonial Western philosophical underpinnings that were saying difference is not good and therefore let's formalize, let's have one size fits all. And these are some of the fundamental reasons why we are morphing from these spaces to other spaces. But the morphing has got an important uh, twist to it, and the twist is that the Sunday Summit is going to become a totally different meeting, and it is only correct for me not to take them limelight, but allow for the right persons to actually come and announce what the Sunday summits are going to be looking like, and what is the morphing and what is the distinction. And it's going to be definitely a distinct meeting. We're also shifting the meetings of Thursday, Friday, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday into GlueVP as well. And we are also going to have them slightly tweaked and done differently with different focus areas, because we have picked up important lessons as we were stumbling and crawling and falling and standing up and. Now, those particular lessons have helped us now to reshape and say, this is clearly what needs to be done as the first step. Those are the two main comments I thought I was going to make. We still have a challenge of our guests not being able to come on. Lerato, can we allow comments maybe from the audience, and while we really pray that this problem must be resolved? Both their Wi-Fi's and their datas have been literally blocked. They are not able to come onto the meeting. That's quite strange.
Okay. Thank you, Moa. If you can just keep us appraised, maybe let's give it a couple of more minutes before we decide. Um, then, uh, just if I may, Moa, if you can go on mute. Mo, if you can mute yourself, I'm getting a lot of feedback. Thank you. I think at this point, while we are waiting, I am going to ask if there are any questions, comments at this point, and maybe let's start talking about those while we wait for our guests this evening. Uh,
Hello?
so our guests are being blocked deliberately. Well, you know what? I would not be surprised with everything that is happens in those worlds, but I can neither confirm nor deny that they're being blocked deliberately. But all we are saying is that it's really strange that the people who are supposed to be on this call are being blocked, who do not live in the same house but live at their respective homes. So yeah, that is strange. Uh,
Hello? Uh,
Ame? Yes, I see you're off
hello.
mute.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Actually, we are not deterred by the present challenge. Just to encourage everyone um, to stay focused. My joy is that we have an alternative platform where we can always meet and discuss, which is the GlueVP platform that is owned by African and controlled by African, that have little or no external interference. I'm sure by the time that platform picks up, this present challenge will be addressed. That's just my comment. Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, Ame, for your feedback and your comment there. Thank you so much. Highly appreciated. Are there any other comments, questions? Okay. I think uh, reading the comments in the chat, Siziba, greetings from Zimbabwe, greetings. Ian, we are not victims, we have power. Let's not allow this to happen unanswered. We can write, protest, and transfer to our new platform. Definitely. And definitely, we do have power and we just need to own it. And I'm gonna just so that I'm aware of the time and I'm going to ask that we perhaps while we wait cover the items that would have been at the end of the session. And as part of doing that, I'm going to ask Moa if you can just take us through your portions there at the end and let's see if we can work our way up.
Thank you very much, Lerato. I'm going to just share my screen now. And is my screen visible?
You are not sharing.
Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, sorry for that. I think I'm gonna do that now. It should come through, and as soon as they come, just please disrupt me. I mean, interject and let me stop. Ne?
Yep.
Is my screen now showing?
Yes, we've seen.
Okay, so what do you see? What do you see? Okay.
You are sharing your screen.
Your
That's
screen,
still,
that's still,
yeah,
yeah.
morphing as you morph.
Okay, nothing. Yeah. am I audible? Yeah, morphing. Okay, morphing as we morph. Oh my God, I think there's a challenge there. The use of words, but this is a a matter to can still tweak. Now we are morphing as we morph to GlueVP. What we are saying is that morphing like a butterfly that actually comes out of a caterpillar. Now, why do we want to morphing as we morph? One of the challenges that we realize is that with the numbers coming into this household, we have too many confusions that are happening, where in our WhatsApp groups there's too many people who get added every day, and they come with genuine questions, but because we've answered these questions too many times, we sometimes even feel, no, I answered this question, I'm not going to answer it. Sometimes we lose patience and so on and so forth. Now, one of the things that we are putting as a process is to say to all people who are recipients of Lumi, go back to your people who you registered. Go back to your people who you have registered, and advise them that they have joined and they are leaders. They are leaders. I think I just want to please ask for that you pardon me a little bit, because what I want to do is to make sure that GlueVP is sitting on the other screen so that when they join, I can see them. Okay, sure. Now, we need to say to everybody who joins and become a Lumi recipient that you are a leader. Everybody, you can't, come into contact with Lumi and you are just an ordinary person. Even if you are an ordinary person, Lumi actually extracts that which you are, the giftings that are within yourself, and say to them that when they talk to people about Lumi, the first important thing is that they register themselves, or they get registered under whoever is registering them. But and the important thing is that people, of course, after registering, they receive the stimulus monthly, and they gain access to Swifin platform, familiarize themselves with Swifin capabilities. But importantly, after you are registered today, get yourself ready to register new users under your name. Getting ready is the key for us. You need to get ready, get yourself ready. And how do you get yourself ready? That's the next important step. We are saying empower yourself. Get ready by empowering yourself through info that is online, through online meetings, social media platforms, and Lumi official sites. And official sites, we mean those sites that are authenticated by Lumi itself. Among others, in that we know, it's one of the leading is Lumi City, that has got various platform. Various offerings within the city. Now, that's what we are referring to when we say official Lumi cities. Now, these are the spaces that are multiple, that are supposed to empower ourselves. And when you empower yourself, the outcomes are that you will grasp the Lumi vision, the Lumi Eco 6 SOAD vision. You will grasp that, and also you will be able then to recruit with understanding. That's the most important. You need to recruit with understanding, so that you don't have somebody being recruited today and then signing up 40 people tomorrow because they want a commission. And then the 40 people become basically like street children who are not parented, who then go into drugs. And then we've got a problem of people who are always high because they were not taken care of, they were not nurtured, they were not coached and circumcised into this particular journey. Now they want to get Lumi to cash it, and that's not a Lumi culture. Now you will then you'll have, of course, prospects of mindset shift, and identify growth opportunities and link with Africa and the diaspora. The next step that we are recommending, which is authenticated and validated by SOAD and Eco 6, is that we need to then register for NetFem training program for family consultants. And this program is important because it helps individuals and their families to regain their total health. Literally, you get trained on literally how to reverse all diseases. And here you're not dealing with, responding through medication, but you are dealing with a problem at the cellular level, cellular base. That's where problems start before symptoms come. So you actually stop it at that point. That's what you get taught here. You master therapeutic gardens and farms, and you learn how to produce food in quite easy techniques. And you then get trained on how to do value add of your products and literally to set up local ecosystems. There's also a practical session where people are setting up local ecosystems, and not only around food, but around a whole lot of other things. You then graduate to learn how to substitute all imported products through your local ecosystems and make a living from your passion. For example, if you are an engineer or you love engineering, or arts, culture, and so on and so forth, you else also can be helped to get into all those spaces. And you then pursue your purpose. This is the outcome of joining NetFem. Now, the next stage is that which the and I don't want to disclose too much, but the Sunday Summit is going to be quite helpful in helping us to address this next level. Now, you should belong to interest groups. In other words, specialized farming, engineering, arts, and but I think I missed one important step. Going back a little bit, when somebody is at this point, before they get registered, they listen to a presentation that helps them register, and immediately when they're interested, they get introduced into an entry level WhatsApp group. An entry level WhatsApp group which is temporary. People must stay in there for 2-3 weeks and they must go. They don't stay there permanently, so that we avoid people staying stagnant, so that they grow into other spaces. Now, you move from an entry level social media platform, you go into the NetFem WhatsApp group. In this instance, okay, let's say social media, and then you then graduate from NetFem. You don't really graduate until 3 years, but you immediately concurrently get added to an interest group that specializes with what you are interested in. I'm gonna ask Lerato to please come pick up the phone to communicate. Yeah. Now, the interest group is something that gets facilitated or arranged by people who graduate or have registered for NetFem. And those are areas that you want to grow in. And you then get linked by SOAD to the relevant ministries that are responding to your own passion. Then you obviously then would leave your purpose and with economic freedom and so on and so forth. Now, this is important. Then you then graduate from the NetFem program after 3 years, but then you permanently remain in your interest group or groups where now you grow your own businesses. As an example, we already have a group of farming. So people who go in there are people who are passionate about farming, who want to learn, and you can stay only there if that's your area. In future, we should have engineering, manufacturing, education, and so on and so forth. Now, those are specialized programs, rather groups. Now, linking with SOAD on every summit is going to be addressing an important matter that is SOAD related, that is ministry related, and I'm gonna leave that for the rightful people to come and speak to those issues. Now, why are we doing this? We are streamlining so that we avoid mixing with babies who are, others are still on Nestam, others are still on milk, others are on breast milk, others are on drugs, and we are almost confusing each other, asking and fighting and demanding, I want my Lumi, I want to change it, I want to. So we want to take people through stages of childhood, baby steps, teenagehood, adult, youth, and if you imagine it from that angle. So the long and short, this is why we are doing what we want to do, but we want to do all these things in a safe space. This is all, Rato, I had to be covering for tonight. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if there are comments on this, but I am done. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Moa, for that. I think at this point I am going to call it. It is almost 50 minutes through, and we have not been able to get the guests on the call. So I am going to call it and just extend our apologies to everybody because unfortunately, this is some of the things that could not be helped. Having said that, I am just going to say, as part of what Moa was talking about, I'm sorry, there's a bit of feedback. Moa, if you can please mute.
Yes, yes. So
Thank you. As part of what Moa has been talking about, and you would have seen the communication from Dr. Chong around how the Sunday summits are going to be going forward, and there would be communication basically from SOAD, from ECO6, on from the ministries and the programs. So all of those things will be happening on the Sunday summits. So please, when we do regroup and do a root cause on what the problem was with getting everybody on the call this evening, we will be sending out an invite to the next Sunday summit, which will be on GlueVP. If all things being equal, we'll be able to have the conversations that we are meant to have this evening. But without any further ado, I'm going to just, if you allow me, do the announcements. And I'm going to read through some of the comments that have come through on the chat, and then do the announcement. And then we can call it for this evening. And we'll try this again on the next summit on next Sunday, that will be on GlueVP. So, just in terms of some of the things that are in the chat, somebody's asked for the link to the Lumi for Africans WhatsApp group. I've put it in there. I've also see comments from Charles. It will be a good to have our own guidance that is created. We need to compile all the questions that are asked and all the answers given in a digital format so we can distribute to newcomers into the program. And I think that's a very good idea, Charles. We have started putting together some things on the Lumi for Africans YouTube channel. So if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, Lumi for Africans, there is a YouTube channel. You can go and subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you are notified of any updates that we make there. And I think this is a good suggestion, Charles. If you can just maybe pop us some of the questions that you encounter in your locality, so that when we do create that particular audio FAQ, we can post it up there and it will have all the questions covered. Then furthermore, to avoid all the confusion, let's have a basic guidance on what it is about this Lumi, so that those who register or join can make time to read and understand the program. And furthermore, all of those are good suggestions. I'm just gonna flip to the announcements quickly. Um, And the announcements are as follows. The NetFem sessions, practical online sessions, are continuing. The NetFem practical online sessions are continuing tomorrow, the 18th of October. Everybody is invited, whether you have Lumi, whether you have registered for NetFem, you are invited to attend these practical online sessions. They are on the third module, which is covering value-added products. Effectively, this module deals on how what we have in our localities, we can transform it and add value and be able to resell. It is happening at 4 p.m. South Africa Standard Time. So please convert to your local time zones so that you are able to join on the call. I'm going to ask Balisa if you can put the link for the NetFem program tomorrow on the chat. I'll highly appreciate it. And as mentioned, we will be transitioning our meetings to GlueVP, and this will be starting with the Thursday session on the 21st of October. And that's a good segue to say that these sessions are about training each and every one of us to be a coach. So we are training the trainer, so that when we go out there and we pass on this information, we pass on the right level of knowledge. And I think, just as an example, yesterday we had, not yesterday, on Friday, we had somebody asking on a call that we had that some rich person is distributing this money because they just have money, and rich people just throw away money like that, right? So I mean, these are some of the questions that people get told. So we are trying to get the right information. So if you are registered, you don't know what it is about, get on those Thursday sessions and be empowered. And on Friday, the 22nd of October, we have the introduction to Lumi. It's a WhatsApp presentation that is run on a WhatsApp group. The links for those sessions are posted on the Lumi for Africans 1 and 2 WhatsApp groups. So please, if you are not a member of any of those groups, there's a link in the chat that you can access and be able to get that information. So these sessions are basically designed if you are talking to people about recruiting them to sign up for a Swifin account, and you are having trouble explaining it. This is a great opportunity. Give those people the link and let them join, and be part of that presentation and be able to understand what the whole thing is end to end. Then there is the Saturday open mic session that is happening on the 23rd of October. This is happening at 7 p.m. South Africa Standard Time. Please diarize. All the links will be provided on the various WhatsApp groups. And of course, culminating in our next Sunday summit that will be happening on the 24th of October on GlueVP. And we'll just touch base and reorganize, just and inform you who will be the guest on that session, because we already had somebody else lined up, but with everything that's happened today, we might need to just go back to the drawing table and re-strategize. So, with all of that said, I just want to take the opportunity and thank all of you for coming onto the call this evening. And I do apologize for the inconvenience with our guests not being able to join. Please, if you have any questions, comments, please reach out to us on the Lumi for Africans at gmail.com. And also, as mentioned, we have a YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe to that channel where all our recordings to the meetings are posted, and you'll be kept appraised with everything that is happening in these sessions. Moa, do you have any remarks?
Yes, thank you. What we have done is that we have also shared the links for the next Thursday meeting. They are already in the chat. If you're able to just quickly copy it for yourself, but it will be also put in the social media. For the Thursday, we also have a link shared for the Sunday summit that is coming. As Lerato says, we may have to ask ourselves what should happen in light of what has happened tonight. So we might actually have a double impact, session where we may have to, I don't know, combine or so. Yeah, but the last comment I want to make is that we want to encourage us as Africans to patiently appreciate the appetite to build local ecosystems so that we can solve our problems. I think that's one key thing that we need to be, focusing on, learning how to share ideas among ourselves. I know I said to somebody today whose wife is baking, I said, no, let's talk about that, because already we are doing something and it's actually showing a huge potential of just turning things around. So let's build our local ecosystems. Um, that's all I want to say. And we still want to take responsibility for the challenge that we are experiencing with our guests. They are constantly on WhatsApp with us. They both are not able to connect both through the WhatsApp, the Wi-Fi's and their data. So we know that it's something quite strange, but we are happy that you understand. And this is just one small sign that we need to be more vigilant. And perhaps we were a little bit late to transition. We were supposed to be making this announcement in the safe spaces. Thank you very much. I hand back to you, Gerard.
All right. Thank you so much. And as mentioned, I do apologize for the inconvenience.
Rato, can I just also interject a little bit? A little bit. I saw. It looks like I saw Vanto in the meeting. I also saw a few other leaders. Maybe let's just allow our leaders to say one comment or so before we close, just so that they make us aware of maybe there's things that they would want to communicate that are important, because all of us should see ourselves as workers in this kingdom building together. Are you in a meeting, Vando? Yeah, please say something.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to all the illumination. And I want to say thank you to Sister Lerato, to Brother Kosi for consistently sharing with us the hope of the present and the future that is uniting all of us as Africans under the flagship of the Lumi. My parting shot to the messages that were given this night is that in the past 100 years, we have heard African philosophers, the intelligentsia, every leader that has taught us mysteries about Africa and all that we would like to know. But the only challenge that we have been facing in those past 100 years, we have failed to receive leaders that will come and interpret to us and reveal to us a simple message. And the message is saying, Africa, unite. I just want us to know and to remember that we have been given an assembly point where the African machinery, the car which is called Africa, is assembled to become one big machine. And that assembly plant and the assembly point, it is the Lumi. We have an opportunity to unite for once, to unite our talents, to unite our beliefs, to unite our hopes, to become this one big machinery that is going to solve Africa problems and Africa challenges. And I want to say thank you to Sis Lerato. I want to say thank you to Brother Kosi for consistently bringing us together in this unity of purpose, unity of mission, unity of vision as the Africans, especially in this platform. Great blessings to all of you, and thank you for attending this wonderful meeting. God bless you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Banto. And I think on that note, I will call it and adjourn the meeting. Thank you so much for joining, and good evening, good day, everyone.
Thank you. God bless you. God protect everyone. As Africans, we believe we are going to be one. So let us.
Good day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Have a Good evening, everyone. Thank you for such a wonderful presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.